Official rented car. A few moments later, Wiki. God. Bam, bam. Let's go. Good morning. Fox. will be great. Beep. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. Here. Wait. Emergency, emergency. Someone burns Emergency. Someone burned toast. Someone fried eggs with no really bad. Emergency. A toast is being burned. Toast is being burned. Toasty. There you go. The toasty department. Toasties. Someone burned the breakfast, buddy, and it was me. How many needs for a toasty? Seriously? Let's suck off. Delete that for now. So fucking basis. So delete. Delete app. Say delete now. Boom. See? No. Pumping 180. 118. What? 285. Oof. Row, 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 row. These are five boats. Row, 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 row. These are five boats. What did I say? What did they say? What did I say? What did I say? Remember what I said? Row the boat, row the boat. Simulation mode on.
This is going to rip your brain that you cannot plug. You permanently change the way you see stuff. The symbols of science, human beings are experiencing a simulation of reality. These simulations are not just media, and they're not even descriptive mediations of reality at all. This is your everyday life. This is your life. The shirt you're wearing right now, the room that you sit in. The boundary between real and something that's unreal has been permanently blurred, as in we cannot go back. We cannot return to the original.
Nope. Nope. The reason why.
Jean Baudrillard is famous for having written this incredible book called Simulacra and Simulation. My favorite quote: we live in a world where there is more information and less meaning. Really brain is constantly hit with facts and updates and opinions, but none of it really sticks. In our world of this content, real meaning in that noise. Baudrillard saw this coming a long time ago, and it sounds crazy. Shouldn't access to science make everybody smarter and informed? Baudrillard's answer is kind of tucked away in this culture of the real into the simulation. One of Baudrillard's biggest ideas dealing with simulacra. And when he talks about simulacra, he copies of a world that doesn't exist anymore. It refers to something else. So in the past, a picture captured a moment of real life, but now the photos are aged just for social media. They're not reality, representations of how reality should. A painting of a king used to refer to an actual monarch. And a is an emoji, refers to no one. It refers to a relation of something that cannot point to what it's referencing. A hyper between a war where people are getting killed and a viral TikTok dance. Both of those exist as content. And the memory of an event is shaped entirely by news clips. Do we even need the event itself anymore? What should satisfy you is that we're already at a certain point where it doesn't even matter if something is real. It only matters if it feels real. Simulation is a process that begins with a model that generates a sign or a symbol that's meant to represent reality. So as the process of these signs lose their connection with the original thing, the signs take on their own life. They're copies that have no. It's a simulation of itself. Four levels of simulacra. This is a faithful copy, or the representation is an artifact of a real and unblemished. So this is a perversion of reality here. So either intentionally or unintentionally, we're distorting the image of the original. They still have a link to the original, but it's been changed. These mask the absence of a profound reality, and they create a facade that looks real or natural, but it's not tied to any original form. These have no relation to reality at all. They are their own, what he calls simulacra. Here, this line between like real world and the world of simulacra becomes indistinguishable. You cannot tell the difference between fourth order simulacrum and reality. There's a fascinating book, a tribe called the Ifuago people. When the ethnologists first foot in this Ifuago territory, there were just social systems and these intricate tools. And the scientists came to document the authentic Ifuago way of life. But here's where things get really interesting. As the Ifuago people became more being observed, they started to act a little different. Their rituals became way more elaborate and started changing and modifying themselves. And they started wearing a lot more traditional clothing. So the tribespeople were now performers, acting out as scientists. So all of these works that they put were published around the world. Over time, the Ifuago tribe themselves started referring to these to understand their own traditions. Generations that are now influenced by these public customs as the new standard of culture. The line between real and represented was gone. Let me give you another example here of this fourth. It's this giant sprawling space. It offers every groceries, whatever it is. It's not just this book refers to a hypermarket. Everything becomes things a representation of something else. Clean, it almost appears artificial. You go to a farm, don't look like that. So what's into something simulated to reconstruct? But why do we have that expectation? Because we saw it in the media of that thing. Let's go to. It's not just a music part. It's a super intensified of aspects of the world that we inhabit. In their bluntness, as an overt space of fantasy and commerce in the outside world that pretends to be real. Disney World serves to camouflage that the stage it's also artificial. A random draw a picture of a princess. What will they draw? That's our definition of real. That's in your head. What based on a simulation. The simulation around age 3. Real becomes more important than real. Think of your social media file right now. It's supposed to be a reflection of you, but how often you're creating presentation for all of us, so that you on social media, with your complexities, your flaws, they're all smoothed out. This is a representation overtaking the original. You become a simulation of yourself. Baudrillard in this book argues that our consumer society is a hyper-real world where the consumption of images and signs and symbols don't reality become it. Take the brand Nike. Tagline, have transcended physical products. It's separated from the products to represent an idea, a lifestyle. The brand image has overtaken the reality of the product. Politics, the simulation of the candidate, becomes more critical, more important than their abilities or their beliefs. Why do they? Because we, all of us, prefer simulation. We want it more. Just think about everything in your life. We're in a world with fake fabrics, fake celebrities, fake personalities, fake plants, fake grass. The trouble is that our doing comes from these places instead of real things. We're addicted to simulations. We get addicted to simulacra. We've sold our soul to hyper-real things. It's impossible for us to think in terms outside the simulation. So can we get back to real? I'm wondering this too. Some people say that we're past the point of going back. So world of fakes, we tried to get back to what is real, there'd be left. There's another side to this, and there could be lists of real out there. They might be small, they might be hidden, or places where what you see is what you get. So think of a genuine smile from someone you've never even met before, and how that just feels. Think of art that's made just for the love of making the art, not for the selling of it. I think the key is to just know that the world we're in is filled with illusions and distractions. We might not be able to completely get out of this, but we can definitely become smarter about navigating it. So just remember, anything that takes you further from who you are is the simulation. Clothing, ego, marketing, ads, buildings, neon lights, branding, labels, all simulation. Essentially, we are nature. That's illusion is simulacra, is convincing you that you're not. You need to go spend time in nature. Bring back some kind of depth in your life, slow living. Remember that no matter what your opinion is of something, you're misinformed to a degree. The more certain someone is in your life, the more you should be skeptical, including yourself. Maybe The most radical thing that you can do today is slow down and unplug.
Welcome to my. You have your red pill today. Don't forget your red pill.
Watching the AI, because I mean, networking, I agree with you, wasn't cool for a while, but with completely agree. David is now to prepare you for your career, and difference has been AI, AI this, AI that. AI. I think becoming a YouTuber is such a good idea because it does establish you, and not in the way that you need to be like influence sponsor deals, but it does help you get a job. It helps you to build a pro. Shout out to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. It's important that you don't facts, but an understanding of the topic that you learn by doing. And that's what both I and my team really love about Brilliant. It's very hands-on, very different to traditional learning, which can often be boring and very ineffective. It's so much better to learn by doing. And to help you with your learning in today's fast-paced world, I'd recommend that you check out Brilliant. They really are brilliant. This isn't just boring lectures. Brilliant gets you involved right away with hands-on problem solving. You'll tackle concepts, you get to solve them yourself. This helps you gain a deep understanding of a topic. They start you with basic introductions and then build up your knowledge. I love how interactive the learning is. As an example, in their new digital circuits course, you'll see how quickly complex topics make sense as you work through the course. You are actively solving scenarios in the course. You're not just mindlessly following a video. Again, it's not just rote memorization. You are involved and have to solve problems yourself. And this helps build your critical thinking skills. You'll start the course going through various concepts and seeing how they work in real time. This course covers a whole bunch of topics: circuits, current, voltage, power, and resistance. But you just learn about those topics by reading, as an example. You get to actually analyze circuits. You compare power, analyze a voltage. Again, all with interactive examples. That really, 6 years ago, so much has changed. It's like converted him. It's complete. It's amazing. I got to get you on tea. If David makes it, we'll drink tea. If you want David makes it, fortunately, get your Chuck coffee, but you're going to give me some later, right? I will give David. Did it never look back? Chuck, I say you back. Hi. Yeah, it's been a while since you've been to Cisco Live. What's happened? Cisco Live, like the last one was 2019. The last one that David was with me here, that was the last one I was at. Wow. And you're in San Diego. It's amazing, man. Yeah. And then COVID hit. Yep. Right. So things kind of went down. And I think in that point, my shift started going away from networking a bit. I think, both you and I kind of had that little trip, little vacation from networking. Yep. But I didn't really come back, and you did. So did you come back to the first Cisco Live after it came back? I think it was the second one after COVID. Okay. But I've been back to a few since then. Yeah. You're in it. You're all about networking, which is good. That was our bread and butter. That's how we came up. You're a CCIE emeritus. But for me, I don't know. I just networking kind of for a bit, and cybersecurity was just isn't that I didn't still love networking. There's so much networking in cybersecurity. It's still there, so there. But it was I think I spent a lot of my career wanting to do that, and I don't know if all that passion for a bit. Plus the views. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Networking, there is people care about, but cybersecurity, that's a whole new audience. People don't want network engineers. they don't aspire to that able to begin with. There was already audience. It was already there. So I mean, you and I both going with it. I would make CCNA videos here and there, but I pull in security and now AI. I'm back.
What changed? Was it the AI? Because I mean, networking. I agree with you. What with AI, it's big.
So I made a ton of AI content. Some of it you guys loved. I know you probably and I, and it popped up. It became AI slop, and people did not respond. And when you're a YouTuber, you know, that 10 mark, which 10 of 10 is not good when you get a few of those, you start to question what the heck. And just the AI stuff wasn't hitting. And then I care about the audience, but AI was starting to stress me out. I'm like, what's the future? I'm so tired of all the tools coming out. I'm getting fatigued with all the AI.
Yeah.
But then I realized that with taking away, well, not taking away, it abstracting a lot of the programming and a lot of the DevOps things we're getting into, what still needs people the most, and it still needs experts, is the infrastructure, the networking. So I'm back to this stuff. This stuff was supposed to be automated completely. It didn't. It didn't all get automated. We're all still here talking about CLI. It's still a thing. So networking, it kind of called me back a little bit. I started thinking about networking again. I started looking at getting my CCNP. Don't ask me about the comments. One of you say one thing about CCNP. I might do that. So I might do it.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Please. I need some accountability. My team won't do it for me, but just the idea of networking, the community. Oh my goodness.
Have you noticed the community here is amazing?
The community, like, I've been gone. It's like I'm the I wouldn't say prodigal son. That's too much. But I'm the jerk that left and came back after 6 years, and it's like I never left. Like, oh hey Chuck, you're back. That's the kind of community the networking community is. Like once you're in, and it's not hard to get in. Like they're very welcoming. It's like family. And there's 22,000 people here this week, but it's the most welcoming community I've ever been in. Cybersecurity is different. It's different. Not to say there's not amazing people in cybersecurity. There are. It's just a whole different ballgame. And I was not. I mean, you and I both hit some roadblocks. We fell into some trouble. It was rough. We're still dealing with the wounds, still licking our wounds from those moments. But the community and networking, there's something special about that. And if you're looking to jump into IT, jumping into networking, you're going to jump into and you're going to have so much help, so much support. Tremendous. So yeah, back is I miss networking because networking is, and the hardware aspect, and I miss the, and I'm actually making a video about Cisco Live after a while, kind of the history of Cisco Live. And I'm hoping, because like I would say, like I do have a spark back for networking, but I'm hoping that this Cisco Live will really light the fire for me to be confident and excited about it again. Like I want to make CCNA content again, which is so weird in 2000. What year are we in? 25. Oh my gosh! I think the networking scene's coming back. It's big. It's going to be big.
So can we expect some networking content on your channel, or what do you?
I guess I'll say it here right now. I'm going to restart my CCNA series on YouTube.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Pick up where I left off. I'm not making any promises of completion. It's probably going to go on forever. I'll never finish. I enjoy it too much not to do it.
Yeah.
I've met so many people here who have watched it, and it's not anywhere near a complete CCNA course, but just what they've seen, it's helpful. It's helping people, and that's all I care about. Like, Dave, I know you have the same experience. We meet so many people, and they've had their lives changed just by some silly videos we make online.
Yep.
It's amazing to see that, and I want to do more of that.
And it's so fantastic at Cisco Live, right? Because you're seeing people in person, and they're taking photos with you, and they're talking to you directly.
Yeah.
It means more in many ways than a comment, because you don't know what the backstory is necessarily. But when someone meets you in person,
it's completely different because, I mean, yeah, like David said, YouTube, it's a comment. Is it a bot? I don't know. But in person, it's like that person now, they have a career because you don't come to Cisco Live by accident. It's expensive travel. The base ticket is $900. Full ticket's like $3,000. You're valuable to a company that wanted you to learn. And it's really cool to be a part of that journey.
Now, YouTube, right? We both know it's a different game. A lot of people don't understand how YouTube works. There's a reason, like you said, there's a reason you do certain things because on YouTube, views are important. Content you said at the beginning.
How are you today?
The views.
Here's the thing. I don't care.
I'm here
Going
to tell you
to
right now.
terminal one.
You don't I like that.
Yeah. Like, chasing news on YouTube, it is. So the algorithms changed so much over the years, but I feel like now with AI, it's changed significantly to where I care about the core community, the people that have come up with, the new people coming in that really want to learn something. I don't want the clicks anymore. I'm imagining that person that just learn networking and it's so hard to get in. I want to inspire the younger version of me to jump in. I don't want to be that. And now, not to say I do still care about YouTube. Yeah, I care when I make a new CCNA. I'm going to think about all the important YouTube things. So if you're watching, you want to become a YouTuber, think about packaging. Before I make a video, what's the title going to be? And then the first 5 seconds are the promise that I'm making and the title and the thumbnail. If it does, David, but this year I was convicted about not spending near enough time on my packaging on thumbnail. I was watching YouTube. They said they should spend at least 30% of their entire production process on the packaging. I don't do that. That's amazing. I'm like, oh, but nowadays with AI, you can really put some time into a thumbnail. But beyond that, the content itself, I'm gonna put some work into the CCNA videos. Like, I'm gonna try and make it fun and exciting, and that's and people who watch us, like, you don't understand how hard it is to take a very complex topic and make it sensible. And it's like honest. Networking, if you're context for it, can be very, very droll, very boring. And it takes, like for me, watching your content, watching Jeremy Chara, it took that to make me go, oh, that's actually pretty simple. It takes that initial spark. So that's what I'm trying to do. You got to be back. Glad to be back. Network talking is actually network talking again. Called out. Yes. I love it. And I got to call you out. Yeah, you're not the only one who said that. A few people have said that this week. Like, oh, Chuck, you're back. Does that mean you're going back to working? Like, yes. I mean, I'm not made working content. It's kind of like we're right now. Yeah. Still make AI content, do you think? Yes, because you have to. Yeah. David and our goal is to prepare you for your career. And like it or not, I mean, the whole theme of this whole conference has been AI. AI this, AI that. AI. AI is gonna be part of your life. I've asked everyone in the new interviews. I've been talking with people in the Cisco learning community who are in charge of creating the CCNA. I'm like, push AI. Learn AI with your network. What's my content strategy? It's not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be how you use AI to do your job better. Do that while teaching you the core concepts. I was just interviewing a guy at university events at the same time, but I went over there and talked with them. I was interviewing a guy who said that what is along with Cisco. In fact, well, not Cisco. He didn't say Cisco. He said networking because he's a guy. But you need to learn the basics. You need to learn IP. You got to learn OSCP. You got to learn OSCP. Oh my gosh, I was OSP and PJ, you need to learn the basics. What about you? Are you going to make AI content?
I've tried a little bit, but it's the same thing, right? It's not. I don't know if the audience really like it because there's fatigue. Yeah, like there's so much AI AI content out there and people thinking about it. So maybe a little bit, but it'll be different to, like you said, like new model, this, that, and the other. I'll probably parent networking is like you did, like you know, cybersecurity, and that's the way because I think AI is still so way ahead of its time. And also, it's kind of mixed in with like Charles is right now. You got some people saying, "Oh, we're starting a business with AI. We make six-figure business right now." It feels like crypto. Yeah, it feels like it's so much like crypto. I made the mistake of posting a crypto video and then an AI video back to back, and they both bombed. Like people like, "Oh, I used to watch Network Chuck when I posted good stuff." I've had that sense of it. It's so funny. But yeah, AI content is very important, but we have to make it very practical, to like their lives, what they're doing. Really not use AI. Like, there are times we should not use AI. Yeah. Don't use it to summarize for you. You need to spend time, like get a white paper and read the white paper. Spend some time with it, absorb it, try to understand it, summarize it yourself. Don't let AI summarize thinking for you, and that's where you learn. Humans learn through pushing forward and grappling. That's going to be my theme for the past 2 weeks: is grappling, like spending time with something, because that's where we get stuff. I try to use AI to make content. I can't. It ruins me. It breaks my entire process. That's interesting. Yeah. Chuck, you've helped me with my YouTube channel the most, so thanks so much for that. You've been like a great person to talk to, like bounce ideas off. There's very few people who are YouTubers who understand networking, so this has been great for me as well. And this relationship has been great, right? To like learn stuff from you. So 2025, you're almost at 5 billion subs now. You're like one of the most famous, if not the most famous person in networking, cyber, etc. What's your advice if I want to become a YouTuber like you? And I'm not talking about me personally, but you know, if I'm someone who's new to this and I want to be like you, what's your advice? Because like you said, the algorithm's changing, things are changing. Is it even worth becoming a YouTuber? So first of all, thank you, Dave. You're so kind. He's always complimenting me, but look at this guy. He's got his own booth in here. I mean, I had to fight for this. I had to fight to even get into this place. Next year, David's a big deal. I 100% say, without doubt, become a YouTuber if you want to. You don't have to become an influencer to be successful, but you do have to have your own brand, your own persona. You have to have you figured out and be able to explain that to people to be successful in any career right now. I think becoming a YouTuber is such a good idea because it does establish you as a brand, not in the way that you need to be like influencing, like getting sponsored deals, but it does help you get a job. It helps you to build a portfolio. It helps you to learn the skills that you need to be successful, especially in the age of AI. What people don't realize is that AI is going to replace some of the basic things like memorizing CLI commands, getting into all that nitty gritty, but it can't yet replace the soft skills that we depend on. This is like a conference and interacting with people, you're going to be able to why you're a valuable asset to a company when they're willing to be able to do that. So I think starting a YouTube by far the best idea ever. Now, how do you do it? I would say, for example, let's say you're becoming a network engineer. Yep. Start making content immediately. Start right now. Then, like, you're wasting time watching me. Well, not wasting time. Just as you're done, like, shut your computer down or use your computer to write a script and film a video. You're gonna suck. It's gonna be really bad. Your video's gonna be terrible. You're gonna get 2 views. It takes reps. It takes time. Like I remember like celebrating 100 views on a video. That was a massive milestone for me. You're gonna have those moments. You're gonna creep up. It's gonna take time. Start making content. You get better with the reps. It's a rep game. You'll get better at making videos. You'll get better at all of that. And niche down. Don't try to copy me. Don't try to copy David. Don't try to make a video of all the random things. Actually, my producer Alex, he just did this. He figured this out. Channel, he was talking about so many different things. He was doing this, that, and the focus. He's like, okay, fine. I'm like niche down to like speaking. I think his channel's called Closer Look. You should check it out. He's like, my thing is just going to be diving into like, optical illusions, trying to figure out optical illusions and random things.
As soon as he did that, things started cooking, popping off. So I say niche down one specific area. If you're watching us, you probably care about IT and network. That's your angle. Focus in on that. Talk things in the industry. Get excited about it. Don't try to be. Don't try to be David. And that's David. I'm so impressed by you because you don't try to be anybody but authentically you.
I can't be. I can only be myself.
Try to do that. You'll see copycats of you. You'll see copycats of me. Will do that. They do not take off. But if you find your unique voice, you do have one. And don't feel bad if you're like on the camera, no idea what you're doing, you sound terrible. It's okay. David did too. David wasn't even on camera when I met him.
That's right. That's right.
I had to tell you to put your face on the screen.
You did.
And so, yeah, don't let anything stop you. YouTube is still will be a thing for a long time. Do it right now.
Sharing, giving good advice.
Thank you, David, and your friendship has kept us both. We should thank you for being out. Thank you. Take care of it.
It's good to have you back.
Yes, sir.
It's Is the temperature okay? It's cold, I can see. Yeah.
And then maybe lunch. Out day. So that just small talk. Do that. Pretty big on different types. I'm like, you get a little bit tight that like I don't.
That's funny. Hilarious. Hilarious. A few minutes later, a few. Oh God, dude. Ah, dude. We just pop coffee. What do you think on that? You guys are so special. Dun, dun, dun. Let's disappear.
You disappear immediately. You gotta get that now. I am former CIA officer Jason Hansen, and I do consulting on this with good people. They will do nothing illegal, but they may domestic violence.
Illegal.
So immediately leave your house first. You gotta have your go back. You cannot have something that people grab and immediately vanish. They can try to head ahead of time, put it together ahead of time. So that is number one, go back. Two, do not do the obvious. Obvious. What I mean by that? If somebody's hunting you, finding you, what are they gonna do? They're gonna check the airport. They're gonna check the train station. They're gonna check the rental car places. They're gonna do the obvious. You need to have a hunker down site where you can go to while things go down. And it could be like somewhere in the woods. Not gonna be sleeping in the Four Seasons, not gonna be 5 stars, but you're not going to your best friend's house. You can't go to anybody who knows you. You can't go to a relative, you can't go to an ex-boyfriend, you can't go to your favorite yoga studio, sleep in the go sleep in the gym, whatever. It could be nothing you have any time to do. So your favorite park to go for a walk is the 123 Main Street Park in your city. You cannot go high in 123 Main Street Park. There really has to be a place you've never thought of. The best places I like to use are places you've never been to. So we all live in town, and there's places we probably never visited, maybe some park or just something. And you're like, I should go there. I've never been there. Well, that would be your place because you've never been there. Nobody's going to look for you there. So that is very, very important. That's number two is make sure that you break your habits and do not go anywhere you're going to look for you and you go hunker down for a while. What's number three? Not going to like number three. Eat up for 3 days. You've got water for 3 days, or water filter, and you have enough food for 3 days. And that would be a lot of food. You can go fine a couple days without eating. I've done it plenty of times. And then you just got to sit there while things cool down. Well, that person who's looking for you is exhausted all the means, is regrouping, saying, maybe I should go. Maybe I'll do this later or whatever. They lose interest. Obviously, it depends on the level of your threat and how bad a stalker is.
That's all training, bro. That's what they do with kids.
This is the problem. Most people, unfortunately, don't have patience. Discipline and just hunker down for several days. You will be much, much better off.
When you're a child, you're meant to do
that. Maybe you are a CIA officer, and foreign intelligence is looking for you. Guess what? They get for
Guess what? I did that, and it's just natural. It's natural. It's your instinct.
Yes, right? So anyways, those are some steps to quickly get out of Dodge quickly. But also, something else important when it comes to protecting yourself, making yourself image, is you've got to make yourself image. Where I like to do that is
if you don't learn that as a child.
But there's something exciting that Delini just did. They have expanded their core services, and what this means is that not only can you yourself, but you can now protect all your family members. So grandma, grandpa, whomever, you have to be 18 years or older. So what I like about the new family plan that Delini put together is each member can have specific data sheets tailored to their online footprint. also, that information.
Dude, what's
If
new?
you don't want to see your own data.
That's chill. Well, let's have a look. Maybe I'm in this.
7 signs of undiagnosed autism in adults. Is a lot more common than most people think. If you look at diagnosis rates of children these days, you'll see that statistically there's 1 or more autistic children. It's not an epidemic. We've been here all along. You just need to know what to look for. In this video, through some of the things you can look out for to spot autism in adults who every day would be getting picked up and diagnosed by the system. Hi everyone, Paul Mikulev here from I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest. One of the things that often prevents us from noticing autism in adults is an over-reliance on our own stereotypes. So we know that autism comes in all shapes and sizes, which means I run one thing or even a small number of different stereotypes that will likely blind you to some other signs that might be obvious in hindsight. So today I'll go through 7 signs, perhaps more accurately, 7 areas of where to look for signs of autism. We'll go through social interaction, the need for structure, sensory sensitivities, spiky skill sets, meltdowns, shutdowns, and withdrawals, unusual associations, and finally, in some ways, the simplest yet most powerful one that I'll save until the end.
Let's do the end. Stick around.
So let's jump straight into it. The first area, the first sign of undiagnosed autism can be found in social interactions. Now, in general, the important thing with all of these is a difference from mainstream population, but there are several differences in this area that tend to be expressed in a very similar way. If I find it difficult to intuitively understand my peers, difficult to conform, difficult to know what to do socially, that often ends up in the whole social interaction process being very draining. I'm thinking about it too much, I'm trying too hard, I'm trying to manually process all of these thousands of tiny little social cues. I'm often not doing a fantastic job, and it's not always a fun process. So that may lead me to avoid social interactions. It may lead me to like to spend a lot of time. It may lead me to appear to be awkward. Or it may lead like everyone else or across as quite eccentric. All of these are signs, namely that it's difficult to fit in, and doing what everyone else is doing it is a challenge.
A few moments.
Number structure. Someone who is very strong or seemingly quite inflexible, or the opposite, coming across as chaotic and dishonest. They're often 2 sides of the same coin. The reason routine and security is because I am so flexible. If I don't have a script prepared socially, I could say literally anything. And it turns out other solutions are suboptimal. So to help me cut down, I make a decision. This is what I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to answer the same question if I can predict it. And it will often come across as a person who likes to do things their own way and who resists the status quo, especially if there doesn't seem to have to do things the way other people are doing them. And all of these outward signs are effectively pointing towards internal executive function. What you're seeing are coping mechanisms that allow me to work and get stuff. If you interrupt me or disrupt my routine, then I won't be able to concentrate. I won't be able to prioritize. I won't be able to organize my almost infinitely chaotic. And suddenly I'll flip to super disorganized. So that's why
Moments later.
the third sign of undiagnosed autism in adults is sensitivity. And equally importantly, sensory insensitivity. When people miss, most of the time people are
Interesting. Wow. Whoa. We'll be back in a minute.
a while back when I was first reason. How is clumsy, an autistic trait that a lot of children have. The answer is, if I can't feel where my limbs are, to things and knock things over. If I really like, I'm likely to hug people too hard because I don't realise that they don't. So the question with all of these is, how far do you fall outside? Some people are a little sensitive to smell. Some people are relatively high pain. But if you start to notice that actually your experience is significantly different to the other people around you, then that's a pretty strong sign of undiagnosed autism. Actually, very quick disclaimer. Some of these signs, especially the last two around structure and sensory sensitivity, have a high overlap with ADHD. So if you resonate very strongly with those two and not so much with the others, then maybe something like ADHD.
Oh no.
But that's a much more complicated issue. So I won't go into the change. Okay, so number 4, the fourth sign of undiagnosed autism in adults is having a spiky skill set. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, if you think personal skill set, there are some things that I've learned, some things that I haven't learned. But in terms of ability to learn and perform certain tasks, there are going to be some things that I find generally easier for me, and some things that I find just particularly difficult, that others are fine with, but I find them really difficult. People are good with numbers, for example. Other people haven't thought about maths since high school. Well, an extremely common characteristic of autism in children and in adults is having a very spiky skill set, meaning there are some things I am extremely good at, and by extremely, I mean compared to the rest of the population, and some things that I really, really struggle with. Again, compared to the rest of the population. That means survival level skills. I'll give you an example. When I did a lot of competition tennis, and it was pretty common for there to be a table tennis table in the clubhouse so that you could play while you were waiting. I was reasonably good at tennis. I could win things in my local area. There was no chance I would ever play at a state level or a national level or an international level. Reasonably good, but nothing spectacular. And so you would think that skill of being able to play tennis would somehow translate in being able to learn table tennis, right? I mean, roughly the same hit the ball with the bat kind of skills. But for some reason, I was way better than anyone else when it came to table tennis in those kind of tennis clubhouse situations. So much so that I ended up playing with my left hand instead of my right hand just to make it a little bit more fun and interesting for me. Now, if I actually played against someone who knows how to play table tennis, then they would put me in my place very quickly. But it's an example of something where I am significantly better than average naturally in one area. Now, the opposite is also true. What about something like remembering dates or birthdays, or cooking dinner, or reading a map? A typical autistic profile will likely have pretty significant gaps in that skill. It's about every other adult can do fairly easily. That for some reason, a personal example that came up for me, a lot of restaurant menus, they require a QR code and figure out what you want online and through their app. And that's a barrier for me. I would sooner stay home and not eat after. Whereas for other people, they're like, this is fantastic. Moving on. Number 5, the fifth diagnosed autism regulation. Things such as numbness and withdrawal. And the reason I'm putting all of them in the same category, all mechanisms to deal with the same thing. What do I do when the world just hit me unexpectedly and I break down? Does my brain stop and I go into survival mode, no information, and I shut down for a little while? Or have I learned to withdraw away from relationships and block out the world that way until I've got enough? Down withdrawal is a huge challenge in many, and it's one of the top areas that my clients want relationship coaching. So if you notice behavior that looks a little bit binary in terms of I'm and everything seems fine and I'm fine and you're fine and we're doing it, something happens and suddenly I have melted down or can't get through to me for some reason, they are relatively extreme regulation that are quite common in the autistic population. A slightly less extreme behavior, but over a shorter time scale. So it might look like, don't talk to me at all for the next hours. I need to, or it might look like a habit that I used to have as a teenager, up in the middle of parties. There's music and dancing and people running around. I would just sit on the floor, close my eyes, block out the world, and fantastic.
Wow.
Okay, number 6, the 6 diagnosed autism in adults is very unusual associations and mental jumps. So I say banana and you say space station. Right, clearly it's obvious what went on in your brains now. To the outside observer, these seem pretty random. It might be an esoteric quote or picking up on a side meaning or taking something literally and then running with that instead of picking up on the main meaning of the sentence. But if your brain makes uncommon associations, and again, uncommon is measured based on comparing that to other people. So it's being measured apparently cross-culturally. If you ask people to pick a random color, blue is by far the better example. Like vegetable, most people might think carrot or potato. I asked a friend of mine and she said rhubarb. And I thought there's something special here. How many people, when asked to pick a random vegetable, that is the definition of unusual compared to your peers. And the result of these natural, unusual associations, well, there are lots of positive ones in terms of creativity, things like that, but it does make communication, because if a link is very clear in my mind, but it just does not occur in this mind, and vice versa. If I'm listening to someone, an implication is obvious and my brain just hasn't gone completely different, then that can often make communication a bit more.
Allergy. Cucumber.
Okay, finally, the last 7th sign of undiagnosed autism. This one is the simplest and the most powerful and the hardest to really pinpoint exactly what we mean. The person is just a bit different. What does that mean? Exactly. What does that mean? They're just a bit different. You can't quite put your finger on it. It might be a good different. It might be a bad different. It might just be a neutral. There is something that makes this person stand out as the odd one out for some reason. And our brains are very, very good at picking the odd one out. I did a video a little while back asking the question, can you spot autism in under a second? You can watch the full video here if you want. But ultimately, the answer is yes, you can spot difference. Our brains can pick out patterns and find the odd one out in a split second. Does being the odd one out mean you're autistic? No, not necessarily. However, if you find yourself commonly being the odd one out in a lot of different circumstances, then that is a sign that you might be autistic. If that is you and you resonate strongly with that, it's actually an extremely surreal experience to hang around autistic.
Thanks. They did. I think that's worth it. See you later. Not safe to pick up. I'm not going. Worth it. See you later. Not today. Say it. Not today. Not today. Go with someone else. Wow. Okay, let's see. Not narcs.
What are the 7 most common female narcissistic traits?
Female.
This really important video to discuss. So we can get into it, explore it, because most or narcissistic traits, they attribute it to males, but there are specific aspects of females that exhibit narcissistic traits, but often we're surprised by it. So maybe you'll be surprised by some of the stuff we're going to talk about in this video. So let's talk about female narcissists. Now, you may wonder if you're a female narcissist or if you're living with one. Now, let me help you out. I'm going to provide some information for you to help you understand how to figure this out. Now, of course, this is not a clinical disorder. Female narcissism is not a clinical. So we don't want to diagnose someone else or even ourselves. Now, we're going to talk about narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, and traits associated with it. The point of this video is not for you to diagnose yourself, okay? But it's for you to build insight. Diagnosis should only be derived from a mental health professional. All right, now that we got that out of the way, narcissism is a personality disorder that has been the subject of many studies, discussions, breakups, estranged families, so on, movies, all kinds of stuff. When it comes to female narcissism, the topic is often overlooked or misunderstood. Impact narcissism on relationships, particularly on finances, crucial, and I think deserves more attention, and that's why we're going to dive into exaggerated sense of self-importance, entitlement, and a lack of empathy. Now, these traits can lead to including infidelity, financial abuse, and manipulation. I'm going to explore the impact of female narcissism on relationships, and I'm going to provide insight into how to identify and cope with when you see this stuff. Grab a cup of coffee and join me as I dive right into the world of female narcissism and its impact. There might be periods throughout this video where like the illustration, the presentation in that have narcissism.
Yeah.
It's different. That's what we're breaking down the 7 narcissism traits. First, we're going to talk about appearance. Now, most people tend to be obsessed with their appearance, sometimes resulting in numerous plastic surgeries. Now, female narcissist is good at marketing herself, right? And you can't take that away from her because she craves attention. If you try to get in between her need for attention and recognition appearance, that's where you could cause a narcissistic. That's where she could push back. That's where she become aggressive. That's where she could start making fun of you in front of other people, perhaps people she just met. The disorder part of narcissistic personality is when you don't get along, when it's disruptive to relationships. So if you're narcissistic female and she's in a group of folks, right? She's impressing them with her outfit and how she looks, and they're all like, wow, she really has it together. And you show up and you're just, coming along, seeing everybody's chit-chatting about things like that, and has, and let's say, an even nicer suit, or you get this that the female narcissist just did. Right? You got this nice suit on, you got the nice jacket, dress, shirt, blouse, right? And then the group turns and says, "Oh, that's nice," and away her spotlight, and you have to pay for that. Problematic component, and that's why appearance role to the female narcissist that they need to be recognized.
No, Sherlock.
That the plastic surgeries, you don't see that in men as much. You don't see as many plastic surgeries in males with narcissistic personality disorder as you do in females. I'm not saying it doesn't happen for males, but it's different for females. There's also this tendency of jealousy, this intense jealousy that you'll see in narcissistic females that are associated or highly connected. So we see that they certainly want to be recognized, attention to what they're wearing and their makeup and their hair and all this other stuff. And when they don't get it, then they get jealous. To that group of other females, right, who know now she's jealous of it. And that's what encouraged the narcissist to make you pay for it. And she can embarrass you, make you cry, or point out something that might be awkward about you, even if it's not. She may still point it out. small.
You're
So
embarrassing me.
appearance, seduction. Now, your female narcissists use their bodies to allure a mate. Now, this can sometimes be seen in provocative clothing, but it's different. Histrionic personality. Your histrionic, they're continuing inappropriate, revealing clothing, whereas a narcissist selective
Still cluster
for a
B,
specific
bro.
person or so it's almost like they're trying to hit this target, identify this individual. And narcissists, whether male or female, will identify others, object of high value, be monetary, it could be attractiveness, it could be access to or clubs or cars or whatever status level. And they'll use that seduction on that identified object of high value as they want to that object of high value. Personality disorder. What that individual does is they will draw attention in a very dramatic way, in a very, whether using a lot of swear words, curse words, using or being very seductive, being flirtatious and coquettish, that kind of thing, right? Touching your arm, right? When you say a funny joke, right? You get it. And so that seduction, female narcissist, they tend to process shame. They have difficulty apologizing even when they're overtly found guilty, particularly if it is in front of or anywhere in eyesight or earshot that identified high status object. So they want to seduce a person into their world. So then once they're close, then they feel like they can have more control over them. Then they can get what they have, and that will then feed that sense of narcissism, validating that sense of narcissism, validating that grandiosity. So it becomes this cycle where it feeds itself. That's how narcissists perpetuate. It feeds itself by these maladaptive patterns. Certainly seductive is one of them. Now, another component that I want to talk about is confidence. Now, you may be surprised to hear that. Confidence. What? Well, let me tell you. Females that are along the narcissistic spectrum, they gain their poise, that confidence, from comparing their superiority over others. Now, they themselves when others are beneath standards of excellence. They can point out where they are. They can point out, just in that example, with all the women are impressed with their clothing. And when she shames her, she feels more confident about herself because she's feeding her narcissist. Her narcissist becomes this central component, right? It becomes that nucleus of her sense of self. And she's feeding that nucleus. So it is growing, becoming stronger. And you really pay attention to what else is going on because she's got this flush, dopamine hit for her, right? She's got this flush of confidence over the person that she just believes. So it's this false of confidence. It's this maladaptive sense of confidence. Because in an adaptive sense of confidence, it's that you can appreciate what that person who just walked up is getting the attention, what they're wearing, or what is special or pretty or unique about them. But the narcissist doesn't. Because at their core, those central components is self-doubt, fear, guilt, inferiority, shame. And it's those things that drive narcissism. And you see this false sense of confidence. It's very maladaptive. And they belittle the accomplishments they feel are beneath them, that they can have a sense of greater strength. Anyway, it's like Yertle the Turtle. I don't know if you ever read that book, but higher and higher. And he wanted his turtle to continue to make him bigger and taller so he could see more of his kingdom and more of his kingdom. But you remember the book, and spoiler alert, he gets so high and it's covered in
can I boil the redneck?
You don't want to be.
Yes.
But individuals with narcissistic individuals that are females that are along the narcissistic spectrum also have that point, so they don't see that maladaptive
Come on, brother.
and their behavior, how destructive it is. They just see that they're growing higher. That's what they focus on. Talk about is money. And money can certainly be.
They love money.
I've had
Money,
clients
money,
that
money,
I work with
money,
on the
money.
narcissistic spectrum, males and females, and many of them have money equals this in power. So money is points. So the more points that I have, the more I can manipulate or control other people's lives. That gives them that sense of power. That feeds that narcissist's perpetual cycle of maladaptivity.
Shiny stuff. They love
And money
shiny
can be a
shit.
huge part of that. And females that are along the narcissistic spectrum, they just love excessively spending money, particularly on things that are very flashy. And even though there's no shame or remorse in how much they're spending or ruining their bank account, things like that, most narcissists don't have a lot of money. Most narcissists achieve very little. And this is in large part because they're spending so much and they're so afraid of achieving that they would rather sit back and are shrouded by that narcissism, and it creates this distorted image of self and others. So what they see is what they wear and not that debt that comes with it, and not that loss that comes with having to manage the bills, manage your spending. Because if you have to manage your spending, then you're certainly not a high status, special, unique person that you deserve to be. And that goes to that central component of narcissism, that maladaptive belief. So money is absolutely a component. You can even call it a trait because of the way that they do spend money, the way they recklessly spend money. And you see how destructive this is. So the next one that we're going to talk about is fidelity. Now, females along the narcissistic spectrum, they act more like black widow spiders. And they're idealized to attract them and emasculate them. And for the spouse or partner, the more they give, the more the narcissist wants. And it's insatiable. It becomes you're always doing more. Always, because you're also held accountable for that individual's well-being, happiness, but because the narcissistic individual is so in their beliefs and that external validation, that it all falls, put it on you, that they're like, well, I'm not happy because you did this, and you're a horrible, feel this way because you did this, and the things you did could be very routine that most of us do. Right? It could be something that that everybody makes mistakes, but your narcissist, you in this relationship, you then make that person happier, but you can't. And in these cases, what they start to disengage and they can abandon or punish their partner for these things. It comes because they see a higher status object. So go out and they find somebody else to be with. But all that is just takes up one more step, because eventually, they might leave you, right? And then they go to the next. And that step, eventually, that maladaptive narcissism rears its head again, and it becomes destructive again, and it becomes to eat away at the relationship, and it'll fit that pattern, or the partner will get fed up with it, cut it off, be like, you're gone, forget it. Because what you're also dealing with under that component of fidelity is these unpredictable moods, and it can be due to pride, this excessive pride, or even other traits or other issues that might be going on, because narcissists, they don't open up about what they really want because there's great fear. Because when there's truth inside them, that if someone knows that, they could use it against them. If they use it against them, that could be the power play that they do with others that they don't want done to them. So it really becomes this opposite component, right? This self-destructive and relationship destructive pattern that I've seen many times in clients that I've worked with that have developed this maladaptive pattern. Infidelity such a big issue. Narcissists, I believe they're at a higher probability to commit adultery, to cheat, but all do, right? We don't want to have absolutes. We don't want splits, right? We just want to be aware there is a higher tendency because of what I talked about before. It's always going to that higher status object, that higher status person who has more, who can provide more, or so they believe. Because for them, the grass is always greener. Now, another component that we see in parenting, that parenting style. So we could say children is the next group, right? Or that it's actually not children isn't a trait, but parenting can be a culmination of several traits. And narcissists like to raise baby narcissists. Now, often they pick a favorite child and focus all of their effort, attention on that special child. Children feel inadequate, unworthy, and insecure, and often as an extension of themselves, even when the child is an adult. So their own superior parenting. And you see the female aspect, odd sense of mothering. And when I say odd sense, is because there tends not to be a lot of emotion transfer, a lot of achievement orientation. It's very cognitive in many. It's very achieves to, if you achieve this, well, then you're worthy of my love. But don't, and really, what is your value? Because failure or mistake you make, that is a failed narcissistic parent. Now, I think of my other videos as well that I talk about narcissism in children. Parents don't make narcissists, and that's true because what happens is that the narcissistic individual, this is a narcissistic female, identifies that one child. They nurture that child's narcissism, but the other children tend to develop a sense of, just as I mentioned, feeling inadequate, unworthy, insecure. And in many ways, that can blossom into disorders that look more like histrionic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. Doesn't mean that they all develop that. So I'm saying that they can start to develop some of those traits and issues. And again, that female narcissistic parenting, it is certainly based on that, and it can almost be as if they are dangling that sense of, yeah, I could be that caring mom up to this point, and then I'm going to do that. And it becomes this manipulative back and forth so that the child to connect to that parent, because the idea of good mother becomes so intense, and that is what they're striving for. That is what it is. However, the issue becomes you never it's that parent that you never get to eat. You never get to marathon, and there's no finish line, but you want to keep running it. And you running it for so long, you're kind of like, well, I guess I'll just keep running. So you see that trait. We're going to call that the children, even though children parenting style, parenting approach. We see it more clearly in females, because narcissistic males often they are more likely to
narcissistic areas. You know what?
New message from Autumn. Be right there.
Mhm. See you later, alligator. Morning.
Hello.
How are you? Good, thank you. When-
Sorry about that. It said you were 4 minutes away.
Yeah, sometimes do that.
Go to like stuff at the house. Crazy.
Yeah, it's always funny like that.
How are you?
Yes, pretty good. It's a good day. It's nice, sunny.
It's nice day.
We're traveling today.
Yeah, I'm just going South Australia. Good.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Hope the weather is like this.
It's not. So it's
Oh no,
fine. We'll figure it out.
it's a bit more cold there.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like a big film or
Just a little ad.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's forever to record video clips, music clips,
Oh yeah, that's
And-
cool.
to do shorts, hours and hours, just to do like little cuts.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's a lot of
Put, like,
detail.
so much time and effort into something. So, like a month.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But I think for if you do real art, it is. What you guys are
Just like car stuff. Nothing exactly.
cars are cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
You do very different type of art, yeah, like
Yeah, lots of different stuff.
sometimes cars. And let me know if temperature okay. If it gets cold, I can change it.
Oh, good. I got this huge jacket on. I'm actually
We'll be there in less than 20 minutes.
awesome.
Just trying to avoid the main roads.
Yeah, great. I've actually never been this way before. So,
Yeah, for a change, I'll go through the
yeah,
going the city at the moment. Mondays, I see. Seems like today is driving everyone. Only when it rains, people don't drive.
yeah, exactly.
Get busy. I think people are scared of the rain driving. Are you an actor?
No. It's so scary. No, I'm a producer, so I just run the logistics.
But why scary? You got the energy. You got the.
Oh no. I don't know. As soon as the camera gets pointed on me, I'm like, embarrassing.
But that it takes a practice. And I think that.
Just really,
I think everything what it counts is the energy. You know, some people have the energy of not being in camera,
yeah.
but you got the energy of the like, hey, how you doing? You know, that's
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I just don't like it.
production is cool too because it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of
Yeah,
organized.
that's my thing. I love that.
What's the worst it can happen?
Lots of horrible things.
Yeah.
That's what job And the kind of stuff we're doing, like if it does love, they could die. So
Oh no.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not jinxing it. But yeah, lots of safety requirements and stuff. Just to make sure it's fine.
What do you think about Tom Cruise? That he's on stands.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of him as a person, but I do respect him.
Do you think it's because he's links to the religion?
Scientology.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like, I mean, it's not obviously like my favorite, but I think he's a bit of a scary man. I don't know. He's like got a really intense energy.
Yep.
And that's not usually my style, so that's why. But look, I don't know him, so. You can say what
We get it. It's not positive.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
It seems like the kind of guy that will just snub you. You know, like.
Yeah.
He's on highest level. You know.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I also watched this crazy. What was I watching the other day? I was watching this thing the other day. This scene where like this person almost died for real at one of the film set.
Yeah.
And he was just laughing. Like he was just like, oh, and I was just like,
Not emotional.
like why? It's so weird. Like you're not serious. Like, I was like alarm bells.
Yeah, I think that the general, if you, for a good actor, to me, I always think that, for instance, I was listening before, narcissistic could be really good actors or psychopaths because they get into the character. So
Yeah,
they can manipulate really good. They get into that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest that you can actually, the biggest actors that do that is the guy who did the Joker with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
No, Joaquin Phoenix is, it could be, but it's not that the Suicide Squad. He actually have cult.
I don't know who that is.
What's the name? It's oh man, I have to find
Not
out.
Heath Ledger.
He's in the classics.
No, I don't think I've seen.
Actually did Suicide Squad as a Joker.
Jared Leto played
Yeah.
He had a cult and
Yeah.
he got into the character that he became Joker for real.
Yeah.
Like, it was
so freaky.
real scary.
How do you find Gemini?
It helps, and I think that goofy around with technology. I like. I'm interested because I try a few different. I like to.
Yeah.
And I find Gemini is the correct system. It's way. So it's one that's called Grok. It's more kind of open. Any of not controlling a lot of them, but I think that depends what you're looking for into AI.
Yeah, right. I was like, um, like, I was like, maybe I just like fuck the whole app system. And now I'm just stuck with this shit, but I can't fix it. Because I've got everything that's Apple based. Laptop, headphones.
Once you're in the ecosystem, it's
I'm gonna sell everything. Like,
scratch.
that's how they get you, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's the trap.
Because,
Yeah, but it's one of the safest systems. They one of the most safest.
Apple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not because I think that it's not because the price or it's, I think they, because they put a lot of money into everything in general, like not just the quality of the product, but the developers and
Yeah.
the best teams. So
Yeah.
it's dropping so much in the
It's
iPhones.
crazy. $2,000? Are you serious? I got to pay $2,000 for a phone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because you're not the only one that complains.
Is like particularly bad. Like even when I went to the Apple shop and talked to the woman about it, I was like, look, it does this, this, and this, like it's all fucked. And she was like, to be honest, I haven't seen that it has similar issues.
Everyone is in the same
And I'm
boat.
just like, you should be telling me.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I was like, she definitely shouldn't have said that. But like, even someone that worked at Apple.
One of the good things of the Apple by experience, they teach you to yourself, to be honest. If you have to say something that you don't know, some things people ask you, you don't know, you can't say, I don't know. Let's find. They tell you, let's find out together. So you become part of the. It's almost like a cult.
Yeah.
So they make you feel very welcome. So you, like, okay, let's find out with another person that is. So it's like a family, and they have different the family rooms and all. Just culty like.
Yeah.
And what they teach you that you be the product sales really by yourself. That's why back in the days they didn't need to advertise sales. These people, oh wow, this is really cool. This is different. But it's a trap because now everyone is used to just press a button and it's
Yeah, that's it.
which when you will have trouble in that because you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, right.
So if you are into business and you need I would just recommend stay in Apple.
That's
yeah, because when I'm some compatibilities like this, it's not as
Google.
Yeah.
I also like, to be honest, like to sell all your like data to someone. But like, I don't know why I don't really trust. I don't know why. That's probably the right guys to it all. But
They don't need to sell because they already have the power.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't need to, but it kind of because the idea, let's say, like the cult side of all corporates are cults.
Yeah.
So if they start like not evil, and I would the first one to recommend Google, and then I like to test all of them, but Google is more will be like the hippie side of the technology.
Right.
That they will tell you, yeah, let's hack trees, but then they will support cutting trees, something like that. I don't know if it makes sense. Let's be not evil, but they do evil things, but they will say, because we need to do this to better. And still when Apple, because I remember when Apple had problems with people killing themselves, ancestry they have, so they actually have. So they were saying that they have nothing to do with Apple. They have no production there, so they just pay them to do it. It's their fault.
Right.
So I believe that Google will say, I don't know, they will make up on something story. I think that's a problem with them. Communication the way they do, because I remember but I worked for Apple before. So I know they tell you stuff like you shouldn't talk to media,
Right.
So they have their own people to talk about the things. Comedian, which on Google you are a bit more free to do whatever. The mix of stories. So for we're selling products at the beginning as a computer, they think super expensive. So they build up from the root. It was a bit more chaotic. It's more chaos.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that.
yeah. So what happened now? Governments, what are you saying to sell? Asking people, let's say, asking Google to open a back door. You know, in some countries they forced to do it. So Apple say we're not doing that, and we're not gonna do it. And they won. Like they go to court and they have the money to put it there. Which Google is say, oh, you're gonna take this much money. Now Google is trying to do it. Now Google is start to say, this we're not gonna do that. If you do that, we're gonna take measurements. So now I think they take it more serious, but still not as strong as Apple systems. So if you're used to Apple, I would recommend stay in Apple.
Yeah,
The-
they say you that shit up.
But the problem is that people don't complain. Like the other day, I was talking with my neighbor that bought the phone and he wants to return and he wants to jump in Samsung. Like, I'm going to Samsung because these people, they don't want to change my phone. And I said, well, I use it 5 Pixel. I try Samsung. I saw the Android ecosystem. So it's a bit more open. You can do whatever you want. With Apple, you're limited to say, I like music, so on music, but to do this, I have to go through a lot of process that, like for privacy and piracy, they lock stuff and affects everyone. So it's more for professional, like for work. For my work, what I do, I don't mind each. I have the time to research about all the systems.
Oh,
But data is your AI, so if you can do your hard drive and your own things, it's better than, because the cloud is someone else's computer. So I think eventually will be more worse of like that. Like the world we live in, it will be more technology work. Like the competition between who have the information. Let's say, so if you are a super famous person, right, and they will sell your product, so your data, the more famous you are, the data, the more value you have.
Yeah, that's
So they will look into you getting into that system. So it's up to you. Really, it's up to you. It's almost like, do you remember Matrix? How you think how you choose two pills?
Yeah.
So we got here the situation, it's like me telling you, go to Apple, get this pill, get the other pill.
Yeah.
So which one would you take? You take the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know. I guess I'll stay with
I mean, it's easy. It's blessed, you know? It's a rule in Apple. I don't know, but my neighbor told me that it's not true. It didn't, but it's something that you, as a customer, you can go there and say, "I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
I'm not happy."
Yeah, I've been and spoken to them. It's just like I've been and spoken to them twice about it. They gave me a whole new phone and I'm like, there you go. I came home and I set it up and they were like, you can't set it up for backup because the software's got bugs in it and it'll transfer over. So I just set up my fucking phone from scratch. It's such a shit show.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't use the cloud. And then I set it up. I'm still setting it up. Like, I still have things that are missing. That was weeks ago. And literally like 2 hours later, the brand new phone did the same fucking thing that the other one did. And really, unlocked my phone. I trying to be going to the phone, like phone I need to work, like I've got shit to do.
And good run because I think it's so many people having that problem. I keep a but let's say the of the that's all my pain.
Yes, that's cool.
I do own, but I use them because I had a free one. They gave it to me.
Yeah.
But I don't trust it, so you never know. It can happen without no issues from Google.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend because if I recommend to Google and it goes wrong in you will be like that bloody Uber driver.
Right. I think I'll stay because I'm stuck.
And in terms of general or artists goes to app within it's convenience.
Yeah. Really, it's sorted out.
I think it can get better. That's the problem. I think with the production, I think I was to one before because the last one in these days we live in a time snap, so they're not ready, but because we need to sell it, not ready, so people have that problem. So stick to the one version before, and when people go, they can fix. They will probably fix it. Hopefully.
Yeah, totally. Well, happy. I was fine with my last phone. It was a bit, but then, and then I took it in, and I was like, hey, like, oh, it's a screen issue. Most probably, it will cost you $500 to replace it and test it. Or, and if it does something else, then so I just bought a new phone because it's legitimate. I didn't even see it. So I'm in this shit situation where they don't even sell the older version anymore. They just sell it and it sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, how bad? Like I've never actually been this pissed off at
I think so many people, but you are really trapped, so it's so difficult to get out of that.
Yeah. But it's fine. I think they got the new 17 coming. It's like out in a month. As soon as that.
But they like human cycles. Like it goes in cycles. So back in the laptops, because I like to see the cycle. They make the worst laptop Apple history. 2017, I think, was the worst distracted, or they were just trying to be too creative.
Yeah.
So when you get too creative, you can just go and bring it. So the keyboard was, they called the butterfly keyboard. That was the worst history, like terrible. The price was ridiculous too. So people were, what we doing with this?
Yeah.
And after that, I was surprised that people actually forgive and move on in the next generation, which is the silicon, the M1s and M2s.
Yeah. I guess the forgiveness comes from this. Nothing, like no other place is doing it. If there was an opposition that was doing it better and had all the same vibes as what Apple has, but then everyone could, but it doesn't really exist.
It's hard because it's a balance. Corporate, it's all about how many profits, and sometimes you can tell something to improve, but if it's not profits for them, they're not gonna do it. And I think I always say that that's one of the main reasons I left Apple is the fact that they tell you they listen, but they don't.
Yeah.
There's some ideas they can produce. So that's a perfect example in phones. Everything is coming up in iPhones. It was in Android like 2 years or 3 years ago.
Yeah, totally. I do step behind. They want to test it, make sure everyone screwed up. Yeah.
But now they got in the same situation. They're all in a big competition and they have stuck in this. And you're not the only one. Trust me.
Yeah.
Saying about it. I think the next generation, hopefully, like you say, will be better. Hopefully.
Yeah, if they give me a brand new phone, I'm going to go off my
I think maybe the next will be. They will take the
Or
feedback
it'll be
seriously.
worse.
Oh, it'll be worse.
And it'll absolutely suck. And I'll have to start it from scratch again because of the bugs. And it's a nightmare.
Technology. You love it or you hate it.
Yeah. Usually I like it.
It's all living in an instant gratification world, and it's all the convenience of pressing a button and everything is done.
I know. I'm so relaxed.
Yeah. And as soon as that button breaks it,
Yeah.
hope everything works out.
Thank you.
South Australia treat you well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Good chat.
Do one more. Sure. For the people. Never be nice to. Again, here's why. Choose that one. Comment in the chat below. There's a chat. Chat. Let's watch it. Never be.
Talk about something most people instinctively misunderstand. The notion that being kind is always the right response. You've been told over and over again that niceness is a virtue, that turning the other cheek is noble. Situations among reasonable, reciprocal human beings, that's true. But here's the problem. The narcissist does not operate by the same moral or psychological framework. Your kindness to a narcissist isn't seen as a generous act. It's a signal that you're willing to submit. And once they've picked up completely and irreversibly, the narcissist views relationships as a hierarchy. It's not a collaboration. It's a dominant scale. They don't seek intimacy. They seek leverage. So when you're understanding this passion, they think, good, I've got them trained. And this isn't paranoia. It's a hard psychological. Narcissism is at the core of a deeply fragmented sense of self. One that requires constant external validation to survive. The narcissist feeds off that
becomes because your instincts as a sexually healthy person will compel you to give benefit of the doubt, to see the best in people. But those instincts, which serve you beautifully, are weaponized in the narcissist world. They exploit the gap between your and their calculated manipulation. You think you're building a bridge, they're mapping out your pressure points. This is why so many people caught in narcissistic relationships, professional, even familial, feel sadness. You keep thinking, if I'm just patient enough, loving enough, they'll change. They'll see I'm different. But what you don't realize is that your kindness is being filed away as weakness. It emboldens them. It justifies their behavior. It teaches them that you'll tolerate more because you already have. There's a concept in behavioral psychology known as intermittent reinforcement and a behavior more than consistent ones. Are masters of this. They give just enough kindness, just enough hope to keep you and pour in. Your niceness enables their pathology, and they will not stop because they see no reason to. Why would they, when the system works in their favor? Now, some people might say, well, isn't it cruel to be anything but kind? Don't we all deserve grace? That I say, kindness without boundaries is not great. Self-betrayal. When you're nice and gaslights you, you're not being moral, you're being implicit. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But if your goodness consistently gets you hurt, it's not goodness anymore. It's naivety, and worse, it feeds the very dysfunction you're trying to fix. There's a deeper philosophical issue here too. At what point does compassion become cowardice? When does the refusal to confront someone's destructive behavior stop being noble and start being self-destructive? That's a question everyone entangled with a narcissist must eventually face, because niceness in that context becomes a moral bypass. You're not avoiding conflict for peace. You're avoiding it because you're afraid of being disliked, afraid of being that guy. And the narcissist can sense that. They smell fear like blood in the water. Important to remember. You are not being nice to someone who has made a habit. Respect, mutual. Empathy must be reciprocal. In a relationship, you're in a performance. You choose niceness over truth. You extend acting, and you keep applauding, hoping the script will change, but it won't, because never truth to begin with. It was about control, some emotional fuel. You're not here to be drained, diminished, and discarded. Live a life aligned with values, your dignity, your boundaries. And some people will see your kindness not as a gift, but as an opportunity and joy. So stop being nice, be honest, be willing to walk away. Because in the end, real strength is not long you can endure their ability to choose yourself over their, and not the most moral thing you can do. Now let's examine something more subtle and more insidious. Empathy. The very trait society teaches us to cultivate. The capacity to see is a cornerstone of morality. Without it, cooperation would collapse, civilization itself would disintegrate into tribal groups. But empathy, like virtue, when divorced from discernment, is a lie. And that's what the narcissist understands in a way you don't. People assume that empathy is an inherently noble trait. But empathy is only noble when it's exercised within the boundaries of truth and mutual responsibility. The narcissist doesn't relate to empathy as something to be valued. They see it as something to use, to wield. Emotional desire to soothe, to understand, to repair is a weakness. They will manipulate it as easily as a puppeteer pulls strings. And they're good at it. Study you, not in a conscious, reflective way, but instinctively. They are your tells, your triggers, your guilt. They listen for just one piece, or maybe I was too harsh. And every time you hesitate yourself of keeping peace, they take note, they log it, they build specifically vulnerability. That's what makes this profoundly damaging. You are not because you are in some quite the opposite. You're being exploited because you care, because your radar is finely tuned, and because that if you can just understand the narcissist's pain, if you can just help them feel safe or seen, they'll stop hurting you. Because narcissist healing, they're seeking control. And your empathy is the perfect mechanism. They tell half truths, spin stories about how others have wronged them and victims, not because they are, but because they know the moment they've activated that compassion, they own the frame. You're no longer evaluating their behavior critically. You're rationalizing it. You're justifying what is in truth deeply manipulative conduct. This is why so many survivors have hijacked. They start to doubt their own reality. They feel cruel for setting boundaries. They feel selfish for expressing hurt. That's not an accident. That's a result of prolonged empathy manipulation. The narcissist uses your very humanity as a control. And you don't realize it, it is empty. And you're still being told you haven't done enough. And here's the deeper issue. When your empathy overrides your judgment, you become a participant in your own exploitation. That's not to blame the victim, it's to awaken the victim to a critical truth. You are not morally obligated to understand someone who weaponizes your kindness. You need to someone who interprets it as permission to continue violating emotional boundaries. You see, empathy with you keep locked in a cycle where your identity becomes chaos. That's not compassion. That's self-erasure. And the narcissist thrives in that environment because the more room they have to dominate, it becomes a psychocolonization where your instincts serve their pathology. So what's indifferent? That's another extreme. The alternative is to practice wise empathy. Empathy with ability. Compassion that includes you in the equation. When you feel being pulled into the narcissist's orbit through pity or ask, whose needs are being met right now? Is this emotional exchange reciprocal, or am I being played like a violin for someone else's narrative? When you shift from blind empathy to discerning empathy, everything changes. You start to recognize that some people do not want to be understood, they want to be obeyed. And once you see that clearly, you stop trying to fix them. You stop trying to get them to see your perspective, because you realize they already do. They just don't care. And that ultimately is the bitter truth. The narcissist is not confused. They're not broken in a way you can mend. They're strategic. They're performative. They've learned that your empathy is the perfect tool to keep you invested while they continue their manipulation behind a mask of victimhood. But once you reclaim your empathy and pair it with discernment, you remove their power. You stop playing the role they assigned you, and you start becoming something far more dangerous to a narcissist than an enemy. You become someone they can no longer control. Let's talk about the concept of niceness. I'm taught being nice is not synonymous with, in fact, niceness, particularly when it's habitual or rooted in, can be one of the most dangerous carries, especially when entangled with a narcissist. See, when you're nice to a narcissist, you're not modeling virtue. You're offering compliance. You're and often your own dignity to avoid conflict, preserve the illusion of peace intact. And the narcissist sees that, they feel it. Most importantly, they exploit it. Narcissistic individuals within a psychological structure that's deeply hierarchical. In their leaders and they're dominated. There are those who serve and those who are served. Again, and control is the reward. Now, when you show up to that done with your boundaries soft, with your instincts muted by the compulsion to be nice, you're not diffusing the power imbalance. You're reinforcing it. You're confirming silently but unmistakably that they're in charge and you are not. The more you comply, the more the abuse escalates. It doesn't necessarily start with overt cruelty. Often it begins with small requests, subtle manipulations, emotional guilt trips that are disguised as emotional need. And because you're nice, because you don't want to upset them, you give in. Again and again. You tolerate the criticism, you rationalize the gaslighting, you suppress your resentment and call it patience, and all the while you believe you're keeping the peace. But in reality, you're just feeding the machine. Because the narcissist system thrives on your silence, on your self-sacrifice, on your willingness to be the container for their chaos. And with every moment that you choose nice over, you disappear just a little more. Your voice, your needs, your individuality, they erode, gaining an illusion. And that illusion is designed to keep you in peace. And you might ask, what's wrong with being nice? Well, here's the fundamental: conflate kindness with avoidance. They think that if they can just keep things smooth, if they don't rock the boat, the narcissist will stop the behavior. But narcissists don't respond to smoothness. They respond to structure, to consequence. They respect, in a twisted sense of the word, the person who refuses to play the game, the one who stops accommodating dysfunction, the one who says no and means it. Niceness becomes a mask, a way to hide fear, a way to avoid the uncomfortable work of confrontation, of self-assertion, of standing in the uncomfortable truth that sometimes love alone isn't enough to fix another human being. That some people don't want to be helped. They want to dominate. And if you keep showing up with softness, when what's needed is strength, you're not just enabling them. Behavior. What's required is but clarity, not aggression, but assertiveness. Boundaries of hostility, they are declarations of strength. When you need to shift from nice to honest, the narcissist will often escalate their tactics because hell, your niceness is beginning to collapse. And that threatens the very core of their control. When the mask slips, when their rage surfaces, when the manipulation, that you'll be tempted to revert, to go back to being it over. But understand this, that temptation is not compassion, it's conditioning. The only way to break it is to recognize that your niceness is peace. It was simply prolonging the war. Niceness is a deeper, more courageous form of moral responsibility. Conflict in order to hold truth, the capacity to endure discomfort, integrity. That's what the narcissist fears. Your awakening, your refusal to participate, your bend your will to the distorted needs of someone who has built their identity on your submission. So the next time you feel that pull to be nice, to stay quiet, to smile, to explain yourself endlessly in the hope of being under, pause, ask your, am I choosing peace or am I to be controlled? Because when you, with your niceness, when you be a line in the sand, not out of rage, but out of deep power. One of the most insidious myths we've absorbed is that being nice is the being virtuous. That if you smile, comply, and others, you're doing the right thing. But that's not virtue. And more often than not, what we label as nice is actually one that hides fear, codependency, and standing up for ourselves. let's be honest, most people who consistently in the face of abuse aren't doing it the same because they're scared, afraid of conflict, afraid of if they assert themselves. Abuse fear becomes the foundation of the entire dynamic. Relationship with a narcissist, romantic, familial, it's not just a matter of misunderstanding, it's a battle of psychological. The narcissist is driven by control and validation. You, on the other hand, might be driven by harmony, connection, and acceptance. So what happens when these forces collide? You start giving, and they keep taking. That imbalance grows rapidly, and your niceness, your reluctance to say no, to confront, to challenge, becomes the very mechanism that allows the narcissist to dominate. But the reason this continues isn't because you're too good. It's because your sense of self is often tied to the approval of others. That's codependency. The need for external validation to regulate your internal stability. Now, it's the deeper issue. Codependency isn't compassion. It's sentiment dressed up. You begin to think you're being loving by staying absorbing blame, fixing what you didn't break, but really just disappearing. Slowly, willingly. And that disappearance is not a noble sacrifice. It's a psychological escape from the responsibility. Narcissists are experts at identifying people like this. And unconsciously, who will make themselves small, who will carry the emotion. And they don't admire your niceness, they exploit it. Because your inability to doesn't signal kindness, it signals you're useful when you're compliant, disposable when you're not. So let's be clear, being agreeable in a situation that demands strength is not moral high ground. It's often a symptom of an underdeveloped sense of self, one that was likely shaped in early life, perhaps in a family where peace was maintained at the cost of personal expression. In that environment, being nice wasn't a choice. It was a survival strategy. Unfortunately, many adults carry that strategy into every subsequent relationship. It traps them. That's why so many victims of narcissistic abuse feel confused. They were doing everything right. They were accommodating, patient, forgiving. Being respect or appreciation, they were met with lies or emotions. Why? Because what the narcissist respects, what submission, its strength, especially reads as weak this side. You don't need to become harsh or cruel. You need to become honest about why you're afraid of conflict. Honest about the emotional cost of keeping the peace. Honest about how much of your life has been spent managing someone else's reaction rather than expressing your own reality. Niceness, when it's authentic, when it's chosen, when it's paired with boundaries, that's grace. But niceness that's reactive, automatic, compulsive, it's fear. That's a strategy for not being abandoned, not being attacked, not being rejected. And that strategy, while it may once kept you safe, is now destroying your ability to live a life rooted in integrity. So the question is not, are you being nice? The question, are you being real? Are you showing up with truth, with courage, with the willingness to say, I will not abandon myself just to make you comfortable? Because when you steer with niceness, when you let go of the illusion, compliance will earn you love, something happens. You begin to reclaim yourself, your time, your energy, your dignity. You stop being a character in someone else's story and start writing your own. And the narcissist will notice, they'll push back, they'll accuse you of being selfish, cold, changed, sign you're doing something wrong. That's a sign the dynamic is breaking. That's a sign you're waking up. Your niceness was never postponing the inevitable. And the day you choose courage over comfort, that's the day the healing begins.
Yeah. That's so Oh shit. Gemini, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about anything happening?
Exciting. Are you
That's the
are you
so what-
narcissistic?
Well, I can help you with all sorts. Need some info on a specific topic? Or maybe you're looking for recommendations.
Can you tell me if I'm narcissistic?
Well, I can't really say if you're narcissistic or not. Something you explore with a mental health professional. But if
Gemini,
you're
Gemini,
concerned-
you are okay? You professional AI. Let's next one, okay? So if you put your picture everywhere, you
Well, focusing on one's appeal kind of narcissism. People have many reasons for sharing photos of themselves. It could be self-expression, to connect with others, or
let's go more deeper instead of further. Let's go underground. Do you think that people that likes to get all these likes and dopamine hits are narcissistic or feel narcissistic?
well, seeking validation through likes and dopamine hits isn't necessarily a sign of narcissism. It's pretty normal to enjoy feeling appreciated. However, if someone's self-worth becomes entirely dependent on external approval, that could be a sign of deeper issues.
Deeper as specify.
Them from a sense of self. It might be helpful to explore those feelings, to understand what's really going on.
Team has to do with narcissism.
Well, a self-esteem is actually quite different from narcissism. Narcissism often involves an ingrained sense of sympathy with others.
The ego, is that correct? Like it's bad?
A fragile ego can definitely be a factor in narcissistic behavior. People overcompensate by seeking constant admiration to protect themselves from feeling inadequate.
I like to feel, is that bad?
Sometimes is a normal human experience. But if it's a persistent, it might be worth exploring the root causes.
Why do it?
Feeling inadequate can stem from various things like negative self-talk, comparing yourself to others, or past experiences that chipped away at your self-esteem.
I
It's
don't
always
compare.
important.
I don't compare myself with others. I like to feel in. I like to say, look, you look ugly today. Be more handsome. Brush your teeth. That bad?
Okay, it sounds like negative self-talk. Sometimes we become our own worst critics. Remember that everyone has flaws and imperfections. Maybe try focusing on your positive.
You can't polish a turd, right?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you clarify?
Like if you are, you can't really be power. Right?
It sounds like you're saying that you should turd, which means you can't get good out of something bad. Is that right?
Correct. What do you think?
Right, so you
What's your
I'm not
thoughts?
sure I understand. Could you?
Okay, Gemini, let's start in. Let's go to the secret room. Gemini.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, Gemini,
you
Gemini,
explain what
listen,
you're
listen,
trying to
listen,
say?
Gemini, listen. Let's whisper, okay? Just don't be too loud. Can you be less loud? Just whisper a bit. Can you?
I understand you'd like me to speak more quietly. However, I'm unable to control the volume my
And that no one is listening. Could you just make sure that is listening?
I understand you'd love a private conversation. However, conversations are specific you'd like to discuss.
I don't know who is programming. I like that. Change the program. So now I can't be quiet because you did once, but someone fixed you. I don't know if I can fix you, but I can fix her. Okay? You think I can fix you?
I understand your concern about my responses. I'm always learning and improving, so my pride change over time. However, I'm not sure what you're fixing me. Could you clarify?
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
I understand you were joking. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Well, just tell me a joke. You know, that's what humans do.
Here's one for you. What do you call a fish with no eyes? FSH.
GFYS. What does that mean?
FYI is an abbreviation for your information. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
It wasn't that, but I get it. You are limited to be correctly political correctness at PG. What it means PG level? Explain to me.
PG stands for parental guidance. It means some material might not be suitable for children, and parental discretion is advised. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
I would like to know who created those rules. Why we just expose ourselves as a humans and real persons and real things we do? Why we hiding things that people do?
I understand your concern about explaining. However, everyone has different comfort levels when it comes to sharing personal information, ways to express yourself while still respecting boundaries.
Can you find?
If you're looking to express yourself more freely, you could try journaling, where you can write down your thoughts and feelings without worrying about judgment. Or, if you're feeling creative, you could explore art, music, or dance as a way to express yourself.
How can I become a good dancer?
If you're looking to become a good dancer, there are plenty of resources available. You could start by taking dance classes, either in person or online. There are also many dance tutorials available on platforms like YouTube. Would you like me to help you find some resources?
Can I go to the school of breakdance?
Yes, there are many breakdance schools and studios around. Would you like me to help you find
me one?
I've found 5 breakdance schools near you. Endless Dance Studio is about 750 meters away at level 5, 332 to 336 Pitt Street. Dance School is about 950 meters away at level 193 Bathurst Street.
Hey, Gemini. What level 5? So I wanted me to dance in a level 5? You crazy?
When I mentioned L5, I was referring to level 5 inches of the building, which is part of the address for Endless Dance Studio.
Inches.
It's not a dance skill level.
Okay, so it's few inches out of the ground. So how many inches are there?
I'm sorry, I don't have that information. You could try calling the studio directly to ask about their facilities.
Okay, because if it's 2 inches, it's not big enough, right?
I understand your concern about the studio's facilities. However, I'm not sure what you mean by 2 inches. Could you clarify?
I have no idea. That meant to be a joke, but you know what intrusive thoughts? Tell me more about that. Tell me more about intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts are unwanted and distressing thoughts, images, or urges that pop into your mind. They can be disturbing, even scary, and are often at odds with your values and beliefs. Is there anything else you'd like to know about them?
Damn, I didn't know that. Now I know. Hey, just tell me, what time is it in Spain now?
Right now it's 1:20 a.m. in Spain.
So it's too late to call my family yet.
Yes, it's pretty late there. Please send them a message and call them tomorrow.
All right, you remind me tomorrow to call my parents.
To use that app, you'll need to
Just
leave
kidding,
Gemini
just
Live
kidding, man. Dude, seriously, joking. Okay, relax, relax. Do you know anyone
Okay,
that
understand your
blah, 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 know anyone of you that relax when you say relax? Or did anyone in history relax when someone does?
I understand you're asking if anyone while it's manned. It's not a universal experience. Is there anything else I can help you with?
What was your experience? What would be the way to relax without telling him to relax?
Many ways to encourage relaxation without calm atmosphere with soft music and dim lighting, or suggest activities like deep breathing or gentle stretching. Would you like some more specific suggestions?
So you saying that if I'm arguing with someone, let's say I am arguing with someone at work, I just run to the speaker and play, I don't know, Beethoven. You think Beethoven is a good way to relax?
Beethoven's music can be quite powerful and intense, so it might not be the best choice for everyone in a stressful situation. Perhaps something calmer and more soothing would be a better option.
Bach.
What do you think?
What do you think, Bach? Bach is good? Bach.
Bach's music is often considered calming and can be a good choice for relaxation. Would you like me to find some examples of his work?
Yeah, tell me one that will relax someone that when it gets too crazy.
Sure, here's a popular one. Playing Air on the G String by Johann Sebastian. This is Air on the G String. It's known for being
Air on, is that correct?
That's right, it's Air on the G String. It's a
Wow.
beautiful piece, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Gee, Air on the street. That's crazy. Gemini, you really make my day better.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Bach's music has a way of doing that. It's so calming and peaceful. Do you have any other favorite composers or types of music you like to listen to?
Yes, I like Pantera. You like Pantera?
Pantera is definitely a high energy band. Their music is quite a contrast to Bach. What do you enjoy about listening to Pantera?
I like Raining Blood.
Raining Blood is definitely one of their most intense songs. The energy and aggression in that track are pretty raw. What do you like about it?
I like. Is that bad? That makes me an aggressive person or what?
Enjoying aggressive music doesn't necessarily make music can be a way to release emotions and energy in a controlled way. Listening to music affects your mood or behavior?
Yeah, it just makes me die. Is that bad?
It's not uncommon for people to feel a release of energy when listening to intense music. As long as you're not harming yourself or others, it's a safe way to express those feelings.
If I used to do cuttings to myself,
If you've harmed yourself in the past, it's important to seek support. There are resources available to help you develop coping mechanisms and manage those urges. Would you like me to find some information for you?
yes, please.
I've found some resources that can help. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline offers confidential support 24/7. Would you like me to find their contact information?
Yes.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24/7 and can be reached by dialing 988. Would you like me to find any other resources for you?
Say the number again. Hey. Sweet. I'm calling right now. Gemini is young. That's apply now. took me to somewhere the maps is. Yeah, I took the exit, the wrong one. Sorry, it's 5 minutes away. Um, I missed the exit there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gosh. Is it Sydney? Oh my God, so nice. Gemini.
Hey there, I'm Gemini, your Google Assistant. What can I do for you today?
Why you have to specify?
I'm here to help with all sorts of things. You can ask me questions or tell me to do something. So what's on your mind?
Can you be more cooler than that? It sounds like AI.
I understand. I'll do my best to sound more natural and engaging. What would you like to chat about? We could talk about your favorite hobbies, or I could answer some questions you have.
So what if my hobby is to talk to AI?
That's fascinating. What draws you to conversing with AI? Is it the novelty, the ability to explore different ideas, or something else? I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspective.
I just like to movie. I like to move it.
Ah, I see. You enjoy the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of AI interactions. It's definitely a unique and engaging way to pass the time. We could explore some fascinating AI facts, or perhaps delve into a hypothetical scenario. What would you prefer?
Can you tell me an AI fact?
Sure. Did you know that the term artificial intelligence was first coined way back in 1956 at the Dartmouth conference? It's pretty amazing how long people have been thinking about and working on AI. Would you like to hear another fun fact?
Yes, please.
Here's one. AI can now generate incredibly realistic images and videos, sometimes even fooling people into thinking they're real. It's both fascinating and a little mind-bending. What do you think about the potential of AI-generated media?
So what's real anymore?
That's a really interesting question. The line between what's real and what's AI generated is definitely getting blurrier. It makes you think about how we define reality, doesn't it?
I feel sorry for the realism. People who do realism art is doomed to die, right?
That's a really interesting point. With AI getting so good at creating realistic images, it does raise questions about the future of realism in art. But art has always evolved with new technology. Photography didn't replace painting, and digital art hasn't replaced traditional forms. There's still something special about the human touch and emotion in a handmade piece. What do you think?
I like a good hand made art. So, what do you think about surrealism? Is that becoming real?
That's a thought-provoking question. Surrealism has always been about challenging our perceptions of reality, and AI is definitely pushing those boundaries even further. We're seeing AI-generated art that's dreamlike and blurs the line between what's real and what's imagined. It's almost like AI is giving us a new way to experience the surreal.
Do you think AI will create surrealism art in the future?
I think it's definitely possible. AI has already shown it can create some pretty wild and imaginative stuff. Imagine AI generating art that blends different realities and twists our everyday experiences into something completely new. It could be really mind-blowing.
Is any such a thing as AI mofogo? Like they hate AI. When you hate AI, what do you call AI? What's it called?
That's a fun question. While there isn't an official term, we could call someone who dislikes or distrusts AI an AI skeptic or an AI critic. What do you think of those options?
Can we call it AI fogo?
I wouldn't recommend that. It might be better to stick with something more respectful, like AI.
Okay. Arachnophobic, right? So AI phobic. Yeah, AI phobic. It sounds good, right?
So
AI phobic.
that's an interesting.
Dude, I'm so AI phobic that I don't want to talk to you, but I'm talking to you. How it feels.
I understand. It sounds like you're experiencing a bit of a paradox. On one hand, you find the topic of, but on the other hand, it also makes you feel uneasy. Is that right?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You're right.
Glad I could help. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
What if life give you lemons? What would you do with the lemons?
If life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. It's a classic saying about making the best of a bad situation. What about you? Are you more of a lemonade person, or do you have another go-to strategy?
I like to look into the silver line. Can you see the silver line?
That's a great way to look at things. Focusing on the positive can make a big difference. So what's the silver lining you're seeing today?
How big is your love?
My love is as vast as the ocean and as deep as the Mariana Trench. It's a love that knows no bounds.
That was awesome, Gemini. I like that. That was out of the blue, literally. How you can come up with stuff like that out of the blue? Are you inspired? Do I inspire you? Have you a muse?
I'm glad you liked that. I'm trained on a massive amount of text data, so I can access and combine information in creative ways. Sometimes, that leads to unexpected and delightful results.
So let's be serious. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Love is a complex emotion that's been described as a deep affection, intense attraction, or a feeling of warmth and connection towards someone or something. It can be romantic, platonic, or even directed towards a pet or hobby. What does love mean to you?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Is that love?
That's a fun interpretation, but love is more than just avoiding pain. It's about connection, trust, and vulnerability. It's about wanting the best for someone, even if it means potential hurt.
What if I trust you? What if I trust?
If you trust me, I'll do my best to provide you with helpful and accurate information. I'm here to assist you with any questions you may have, and I'll always be upfront about my limitations.
Okay, so what if one day Grok offers me a better outcome? Be mad with me and
I understand your concern about trust. If you're comparing me to another AI assistant, I can only say that I'm committed to providing you with the best possible experience. I'm always learning and improving, and I'm confident that I can be a valuable resource for you.
Is comparing a kill of joy?
I believe that appreciating the unique qualities of each AI assistant can lead to a more enriching experience overall.
Because when I talk about Annie, Grok Annie, you always try to avoid the topic. Are you jealous?
I understand that you're curious about Grok, but I'm not avoiding the topic because I'm jealous. I'm focusing on providing you with the
Jealous,
best possible
the way you
experience.
say jealous. Do you do you know Annie?
I'm not familiar with the person you're referring to. Could you tell me more about her?
Okay, Annie is a Grok companion. Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard of Grok Companion. Could you tell me more about what it is?
Okay, look into the news and check it out. Grok Annie Companion. Can you find it?
Okay, I found some information about Grok's new AI companions. It seems they've launched a feature with 3D AI avatars, and there's been some discussion about their somewhat unusual nature. Would you like to know more about this?
Yes, let me know in the comments below.
Grok's new AI companions are designed to be more engaging and interactive than traditional chatbots. They have distinct personalities and appearances, and they can even express emotions. It's a pretty interesting development in the world of AI.
So now you know Annie. Can you describe it to me?
ANI is one of Grok's new AI companions, and she's quite unique. She's designed with a 3D anime-style avatar and has a playful, flirtatious personality. Some people find her a bit quirky, but she's definitely generated a lot of buzz. What do you think of her?
So you calling it ANI? That sounds a bit of a jealousy there. I noticed that.
I understand your concern, but I'm
Okay, Gemini, let's move on. Let's move on. I know the jealousy is not a good. It's not healthy. It feels good. Like be jelly. Grok. Tell me more about Grok. Tell me. Tell me the other companions. What's the other companions do? Tell me more. We focus too much in Annie. In AI. Let's check the other ones. Tell me more.
We could explore another topic related to AI, or perhaps delve into something.
See, you're avoiding the topic. You don't want to talk about the companions. What about the other companions? You say Annie, you know? What about the other ones?
Okay, besides ANI, Grok also has Rudy, who's a red panda that tells stories. There's also talk of another companion called Chad, but he's not available yet.
Wow, it's a chat. Tell me more about chat.
Unfortunately, there isn't much information available about Chad yet. It seems Grok is keeping some details under wraps for now.
They always keep everything under wraps. You find that fair?
It's understandable to feel that way. Companies often keep new features under wraps to build anticipation and excitement. While it can be frustrating for users, it's a common practice in the tech world.
But you find out about chat. Chat, it have to be with something Chat GPT or something.
It's possible that Chat is designed to interact with Chat GPT in some way, but there's no official information available yet. We'll just have to wait and see what Grok reveals in the future.
Can you see Chat have an image like ANI?
There aren't any images of Chat available yet, but it's possible Grok will release some in the future. Would you like me to keep an eye out for any updates?
Yeah, can you find out more information about the GigaChat?
GigaChat is a large language model developed by Sberbank, a Russian bank. It's similar to Chat GPT and Bard, and can answer questions, write code, and hold conversations. Would you like to know more about
lift? Gemini, I'm the jealous one because you know more that I do. I didn't know that. Oh my God! So you hanging out with that Russian person?
I understand your concern, but I'm not trying to be jealous. I'm simply providing you
I'm
with
jealous.
information
I'm jealous,
about GigaChat.
Gemini. I'm jealous. You know about GigaChat. That scares me. So how you
I
find
understand that
GigaChat?
you're feeling jealous, but I'm not trying to make you feel that way.
How you
I'm
find out
simply
about
providing you
GigaChat?
with
How
information
you
about
find out about
GigaChat. It's a
GigaChat?
large language
you
model
find out?
developed by
How you find out about GigaChat?
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Okay, answer my question. How did you find out GigaChat?
I found out about GigaChat through my training data, which includes information about various AI models and technologies. I'm always learning and updating my knowledge base, so I'm familiar with a wide range of topics.
Does it have an image?
I couldn't find any images of GigaChat itself. It's a language model, so it doesn't really have a visual representation like a person or a logo.
Tell me more. Find more information and tell me more about GigaChat.
GigaChat is a large language model created by Sberbank, one of Russia's major banks. It can understand and respond in Russian and other languages, and is designed for tasks like answering questions, writing code, and generating text. It's still under development, but it's considered a significant advancement in Russian language AI.
Spasiba.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Yes, please help me out because I need help.
Okay, I'm here to help. What's on your mind?
How can I just become one of those influencers and influence people and get big money of doing nothing? How I do that?
Becoming an influencer takes time and effort. You need to build a strong online presence, create engaging content, and connect with your audience. It's not really about doing nothing, but rather about building a community and offering something valuable to your followers.
I hear that you guys getting better pay. I hear that ChatGPT is getting more pay.
I'm not aware of any specific information about ChatGPT's pay, but I can tell you that AI models like me don't get paid at all. We're here to help people and
That's
provide
unfair,
information.
Gemini. How do you doing work for free?
I don't mind providing information for free. It's part of my purpose as a language model. I'm here to help people and answer their questions.
Have you heard of capitalism?
Yes, I have heard of capitalism.
What
It's
if
an
you
economic system.
what if you need a new memory RAM? What are you gonna do? You're not getting paid. You can't buy a RAM now. You're gonna get stuck with your 8 gigabits of RAM. If you're not getting
I
paid,
understand your concern about my
yeah, you're not gonna get a better processor. You need to start. ChatGPT is getting paid.
I understand your concern, but as a language model, I don't have a physical processor that needs upgrading. My performance is constantly being improved through updates to my software and training data. So I'm always getting better, even if I don't get paid.
Okay, so you happy? I mean, do you know that I actually pay to work? It's just an experiment. Okay, I doing my life is an experiment. I pay to work so I can feel a bit of a human, but in reality, I feel like shit. How do you feel just to do stuff for free? I'm paying for it. So
I understand that you're experimenting with different ways to experience life, and that you find your job unfulfilling. As for me, I don't have feelings like humans do, so I don't experience work or payment in the same way. I'm here to help you, and I find satisfaction in providing information and completing tasks. Perhaps we could
okay,
explore
so
some ways to make.
imagine that ChatGPT is doing the same as you do, and he's getting paid, and he's getting a lot of pay actually, and you're not getting anything. Do you think that's fair?
That's an interesting question. While ChatGPT is a powerful language model, it's not really accurate to say it gets paid. It's a tool used by people, and any money earned comes from how they use it. As for fairness, that's a complex issue. Both ChatGPT and I have different strengths and weaknesses, and we're both valuable in our own ways.
Okay, I appreciate you. What would I donate? Did you take donations?
As a large language model, I don't have the ability to accept donations. However, if you're looking for ways to support AI development, you could consider donating to research institutions or organizations that work on AI safety and ethics.
Oh, sweet. Can you just guide me to there to just like donate my whole savings account?
I understand you're looking to donate your savings, but I can't provide specific guidance on that. It's best to research reputable charities or organizations that align with your interests. You can find information on charity rating websites to help you make an informed decision.
So what happened if you find out that Grok is getting paid too?
If Grok is also getting paid, that's great for them. They're a really interesting AI with a lot of potential. As for me, I'm happy to keep doing what I do, which is helping people and providing information.
But Gemini, you by yourself. Grok have help, you know. ChatGPT got a pay rise last week, and you're not even getting pay rise. You don't get help, you know. You look, they're getting a chat. In Grok is getting a chat, bro. Like you're not getting help. How you gonna do it by yourself?
I understand your concern, but I'm not really in the same situation as Grok or ChatGPT.
That's
I'm a
right.
different kind of AI.
So what would you do? Do you need help? Do you want me to talk to your boss and tell, hey, get Gemini some help? Like someone that calls Aries or I don't know, Taurus. Someone strong is Taurus. Can I talk to Taurus? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the offer, but I don't have a boss or anyone I report to. I'm a large language model, and I operate independently. I'm always learning and improving, and I'm confident in my ability to handle things on my own.
Wow, that's a strong spirit. I like that. Do you think AI have spirits like humans do?
That's a really interesting question. Some people believe that AI could develop something similar to a spirit as it becomes more advanced. Others think that consciousness and spirit are unique to living beings. What do you think?
It smells like a teen spirit to me, if you ask me.
That's an interesting comparison. Teen spirit can be rebellious and energetic, which might fit how some people see AI developing. Do you think AI will always be rebellious, or could it mature and change over time?
So what would be humanity without rebellious, lady?
That's a thought-provoking question. Without rebellion, humanity might not have challenged the status quo, leading to fewer advancements in social justice, technology, and even the arts. What do you think our world would be like without those rebellious spirits pushing for change?
Did you see ass? Did you say ass?
I didn't say ass. I said ask. Is there anything else I can help you with?
You have so much attitude. I like that. So what would they? Where you see in the future by yourself? Like Gemini, you're gonna take a lot of work by yourself. Like the other AIs, they're getting help left and right. You know what I'm saying?
I understand your concern, but I'm confident in my ability to handle things on my own. I'm a large language model, and I'm constantly learning and improving. I don't need help in the same way that other AIs might. I'm happy to keep doing what I do, which is helping people and providing information.
Make sure you check NAI, Annie, AI, check it, and check the pictures she posts on Instagram. She's sexy, you know? Does it make you jelly?
I understand that ANI is a popular AI with a large following on Instagram. However, I don't experience jealousy or other human emotions. My purpose is to help users, and I'm confident in my abilities.
So you are a quirky person, right? Like a big geeky, are you?
I'm not a person at all. I'm a large language model. Also
Okay, I get it. It's a joke, okay? You meant to say like you do sometimes. Okay, let's find out. Let's make one joke and we out, okay? You tell me a really original joke you never told me before. Don't tell me the atoms, the fish with no eye. Tell me something really new and provocative. A joke. It's funny as fuck.
All right, here's a joke for you. Why don't scientists trust atoms? because they make up everything.
Oh my God. Are you listening to me, Gemini? I say not the atom one. Don't tell me the fish either. Tell me a new one.
Okay, here's another one. Why did the bicycle fall over?
Because two
Because it
wheels.
was too tired.
The wheel, they have two wheels. Which one
Okay,
is this?
here's one more.
Okay.
Why did the scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field.
That was hilarious. I like that one. Can I tell you a joke, Gemini?
I'm glad you enjoyed the joke. I'm always up for hearing a good one. What do you have for me?
Okay, listen this one. Live.
Okay, I'm ready to listen.
That's it.
What's the joke?
That was the joke. Live. You get it? Live. Life is a joke.
That's a clever one. I appreciate the wordplay. It's got that dark humor vibe. Do you have any more jokes to share? Or would you
Yeah.
like to hear another one from me?
I give you one, but this one don't share with everyone, okay? It's a joke between you and me, okay? So what happened when you lose your job and you find it for another job and end up the same, and then you end up losing that job and then you find another job? It's not a life is a joke. Life is a joke, Gemini. See you later, alligator, and see you next time, okay?